guys, I'm Mark.
I'm Penny.
And we are the Oyster Boys, and today we are going to be reviewing this Samuel Smith's wheat beer.
Yes. So another one of my selections, riding the wheat chain. So yeah, I thought obviously, well, we've changed venue, haven't we?
Yep.
After a few comments from partner's girlfriend, so no mention of names.
Apparently my kitchen wasn't the nicest venue.
So, and I've just finished the garden, so with a little lockdown project, so we thought we'd try somewhere different. But yeah, no, so Samuel Smith's trying the wheat train, but this beer has a special heart for me because it's the first time I bought that wheat train ticket.
Really?
It's the
first one you had?
Wheat beer I ever had.
Wow.
That got me onto wheat beer at the Falcon in Chester. I went for a few beers with my dad, and I saw this big sort of beer.
Like a bulbous glass, isn't it?
Well, it's the glass, but also it's not on a normal pump. It's a big. It's about a foot high or something like that.
Oh, a big ceramic
and it's lit,
font.
And it's lit. And I saw I have a pint of that, had it, and it's like, this isn't a beer. What is this? It's a wheat beer. And then from that, I was sold. So it has a special place in my heart for me as getting me on the wheat train. So organic as well, saving the bees. So,
why not?
Why not? Soil Association. It's obviously got the EU sticker for recognition, but you know, Samuel Smith's. You asked me before we got this, is he related to John Smith's by any chance? Before doing some research, I always thought it was John Smith's brother, and they split up, but it's not true. Samuel Smith, the first Samuel Smith, was actually a butcher,
okay,
and he sold cattle as well. Very successful, and he bought the old brewery in Tadcaster for his son John Smith's.
Okay.
So the brewery started in 1758. He bought in 1847. That's when he bought the old brewery. Started producing, well, John Smith's bitter, as we all well and know it. He then moved to a bigger brewery, upscaled, and left the old one to his nephew, Samuel Smith, another Sam Smith.
Okay.
1886, and he started producing a lot of, I don't know, less mass-produced beer, should I say, more experimental craft beer, would you say?
I mean, I don't suppose that you'd refer now to Sam Smith's as craft beer as what people refer to craft beer as now, but maybe going back possibly then.
Yeah, well, big inspiration on Goose Island and Brooklyn Lager.
Oh, wow.
They've referenced Sam Smith's as being a big inspiration to them. We talked about Sam Smith's obviously in the past with Iyengar.
Yeah.
Do you want to know an Oyster Boy fact?
Please.
They also have a well on site where they collect the water to brew their beer in Tadcaster.
Do they sell their water though? Because Iyengar sell their water. You can go and you can buy Iyengar water. But
not to my knowledge that they sell the water, but obviously it's a certain similar thing that they both do. It's one of the oldest independent breweries in Yorkshire. Obviously Yorkshire for having the White Rose.
Yep.
So for any of the American brewers, Yorkshire, Battle of Roses, White Rose, Lancashire, Red Rose. So. And traditional brewing techniques, they still use what's called the Yorkshire Square, where brewing it used for ales, and basically it's a double-decker sort of not fermentation, sort of, I guess, mash vessel. Basically the water's at the bottom and it's pumped through a small hole to the top where the yeast is, and it basically keeps the yeast in suspension and on the top. I've tried to do it. It's a very old school, and apparently it makes the beer come out a little bit harsh, and then they have to sort of ferment it for longer or rack it for longer. But they still stick to the sort of traditional ways. And in Tadcaster, they still deliver the beer on horses, and the old cask, as you can see, obviously on the back of the bottle. They've actually got a picture of the Shire horses delivering the casks in Tadcaster. So
very nice.
And one of the oldest yeast strains as well. It's over 100 years old, the yeast strain. They keep using it, so again, something that's quite rare. So quite an interesting beer. It's good to go back and taste the bottled version. So yeah,
should we get it into the bottles and see how it looks?
Please.
I mean, on the back it does say you can enjoy it with a slice of lemon, so we're going to do that. I'm going to drop my lemon straight in the glass there, so I really get the flavour in.
Yeah.
And
if the brewer's recommended tasting it, who am I to deny?
Exactly. Yeah. And one thing I could say as well, another little oyster fact, is that Samuel Smith's is where I first bought my very first illegal pint of beer. I think I was around 13 or 14 years old. I was blessed with a beard from a young age, so I really made the most of it. And it was a good beer. It was a good beer. Probably Deep Hills at the time. Or it could have been a Sam Smith's bitter, maybe £1.5 a pint at the time. This is going back quite a way. I'm not that young these days.
There's 2 Samuel Smith pubs because they own it's about 250 pubs. There's the Boot in Chester, and then there's the Falcon.
The Falcon as well, yeah.
Yeah. You know, the Falcon apparently has got a ghost by a female, and if she fancies you, she will pinch your bum.
And so it's one of the oldest buildings in Chester.
There you go. We're full of facts today, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah.
Every day is a school day.
And a little call back to earlier, this is not the first beer that we reviewed where the brewer was formerly a butcher. If you think back, we also reviewed the Heron Pills.
Yes.
And with Heron Pills, this guy was a butcher until he was in his 50s, I think.
Yes.
And then he said, sack this off, I'm going to make beer.
Maybe,
or a brewery.
Maybe there's got to be something to do with it. I don't know. So
if you're a butcher and you're watching this, maybe you need to change your career.
Maybe. So, well, I mean, should we go straight on and have a look?
Yeah, you know, highly carbonated.
Yeah, as we expect, but
cloudy, classic wheat beer, nice thick head. It looks good.
Yeah, your head, mine's gone. I'm a little bit disappointed with that. It was there and it's gone. And to be honest, it's a bit clearer than I was expecting for a wheat beer.
Is this bottle conditioned? Is there going to be some
bottle conditioned?
Are we getting some more in there? Is that?
It says on the back. So the brewer yeast still in the bottle, which obviously is basically saying that it's bottle conditioned. So my oyster glass, I need to have a swig before I can top it up. So
I mean, it looks like if you were looking for a wheat beer, is that what you'd want to see? It's there or thereabouts, isn't it? It's not mind-blowingly beautiful.
No, it's difficult to say on the colour because obviously they do range from the white to the orangey, which this is. But I'm surprised by it's definitely hazy, but kind of in the head. I mean, sometimes you see the Erdinger and it's never skim an Erdinger. So for me, it's 6.5 for me.
Yeah, I mean. It's a nice looking beer. I'd probably say a 6.5. Yeah, I'm going to go the same too.
Yeah.
It's not blowing me away. It's a bit cloudy. Most most wheat beers that I've had they look a lot more dense than this.
Yes.
You really can't see through.
It's light.
I mean, it's so fizzy though. I mean, that's going crazy still.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm 6.5. It's not blowing me away, but it looks nice.
Yeah. So should we have a smell? So we should be getting some, hopefully, banana.
Yeah.
Some cloves. Wow. Yeah. Banana straight on the.
Right away.
Yeah.
It smells sweet, which is nice.
It does.
You got the banana smell, a bit of the lemon, but that's from the lemon in the glass, I think, rather than anything else, and a bit of a yeasty smell as well. But it does smell good. It smells really nice.
Yeah. It's not the Weihenstephaner where we could smell it come out the bottle.
No.
But it's definitely banana-y. I'm going to break the mould of my 0.5 zero scores, go for 7.7.
That's exactly what I was thinking of doing. 7.7. So
there you go.
This is we're
on the same page with this.
Well, we'll see what happens next though, because the more important test is what happens when we drink it.
There we go.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
That's nice.
It is. I don't know if I would have had the lemon in.
We can't take it out. Well, I suppose you can take a sip from the bottle and see if it's better than with the lemon in there.
Maybe.
See.
I don't know.
I like the lemon because I went out the other week and I think I was drinking Blue Moon when I was out.
Yeah.
And whenever they bring the Blue Moon, there's a big chunk of orange in the glass. Depending on what bar you go to, they'll put the orange in there. And I think that citrus flavour really adds to the wheat beer. I think it does.
I think it's quite thin for mouthfeel for a wheat beer.
Let me check.
I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, it's not thick. But you make some wheat beers, and obviously in addition to the wheat malt, you might have like some oats in there as well, which will really thicken it up. I mean, what was in there? Wheat, barley, yeast, hops. So no, there's no oats in there.
No.
It's nice. It's not blowing me away. I'm getting now that I've had that second sip. I am getting what you mean about the lemon though, because I got mostly lemon in that second one.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe if I didn't have the lemon in it, it would be better.
Good shot. I prefer it.
Yeah,
Too late
I
now.
do as well. So the brewers are wrong in this case. Don't put the lemon in.
So that's our input. But yeah, I do remember it different slightly on draft. A little disappointed with the mouthfeel.
It's always going to be different on draft, though. We spoke about this when we were round at mine, and we got the draft system there. Soon to have a draft system here. Banging. It's such a different way of drinking beer because the carbonation is completely different.
Yeah.
For me, similar to some of the others we talked about, it's good. It's not bad, but it's not blowing me away. So I'm going to go for a 6-4.
Yeah, 6-7 for me, purely because I like wheat beers, but it's not blowing me away. It's not a special wheat beer from some of the wheat beers that we've had. So a little bit not disappointed, but yeah, it is what it is.
We'll see. Well, the oyster score will tell, won't it? We'll see where it ranks on the table. So, how much does this cost?
£2.80.
I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed because I'm pretty sure that when I first started drinking in Sam Smith's pubs, I could get a pint of this for about £1.05. So that's a long time ago, though. However, I don't think this is the best value at £2.80 for a bottle.
No, I mean it's organic, so it's going to cost more, a little bit more. It's obviously a Tawley as well, but some of the other wheat beers that we've had
and some of the really commonly available wheat beers, which are really good, like Erdinger, like Weihenstephan, where they come in very, very low on price.
Yes.
This, I'm probably going to have to give it a 5.5.
I'd agree, yeah, a 5.5 for me. It's satisfactory. It's not blowing me away, but that's what it is.
It's a perfectly acceptable price.
Yeah, it's a pass. It's a pass. Yeah. I wouldn't feel ripped off, but I wouldn't feel it's meeting the value. Yeah, so a 5.5 for me. Sessionability, because it doesn't quite have that mouth feel, and it's maybe more sessionable because sometimes wheat beers.
You don't want a heavy beer for a session, do you? And
exactly.
This is light. It is a light beer.
It's a light wheat beer, isn't it? It is light on the wheat side. So in that aspect, it does sort of bring it out a bit. Yeah, it's true. So for me, sessionability. Well, you got to ignore my sessionability because I can session these.
You session wheat beer on a regular basis.
But it would be a higher score. So for me, on pure wheatness sessionability, I could have 8 pints of it.
That's I probably couldn't because as much as I now enjoy wheat beer since you got me the guest pass to the wheat trade, I'm enjoying it. But I don't think I'd enjoy it all night. That whole banana-y, clovey thing for me gets a bit too much. Enough. I think if for a high-rated sessionable beer, it's got to be, in the nicest possible way, more bland.
Okay,
and I think for me, probably a 5.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
But that's a good score. Sit there and drink 5 pints of it.
Yeah. Some people wouldn't even be able to drink 2 pints of wheat beer, so to drink 5 pints, I think is fair. Yeah. So because wheat beers are never going to score other than me, which is pretty maybe biased because I'm 50% of the score system. But there you go. But it's going to be a high score for me purely on the fact of that it's lighter on the mouthfeel and less bananas punching through, I think so. Yeah, but 5% good sessional ability overall. Yeah. Well, let's tot up the scores and see what they give us, eh? So I stole your words there. You're the one.
It's fine. To be honest, I've just mentally totted them all up, and what I can tell you is that this is the oyster score for this beer.
That was quick. That's the quickest yet.
That was some good maths. So if you like what you saw today, check out our Instagram. Check out our Twitter, which is basically the same as our Instagram.
Yeah.
Subscribe, smash the like button, smash subscribe. Tell your friends about us because it really helps us out as well.
Yeah. Oysters out.